will start on their own 25-yard line. So Valdosta offensively has it again. Shelby Wilkes, the quarterback, just threw that interception. Cameron Albright. He's Ray Buchanan. Big play, Ray Buchanan. Former Falcon superstar. I am Justin Hanover. As we are live from Emory Sewell Stadium here at North Cobb. 14-7, the Warriors in the lead off of that pick six.
I love high school football, man. It's just so pure in the air. The fans, you know, and just the kids, they all have the dream to make it to the next level.
There's a great crowd here tonight at Emory Sewell Stadium. So Valdosta trying to pick up the pieces. And you see the run play for a couple of yards. Nelson Herring, almost 1,000 yards on the season, 9 touchdowns. He scored the opening touchdown. 4:56 to go in the first quarter. Valdosta, a great long drive. Herring from 6 yards out, but a minute later, Javante Herod of North Cobb tied it up from 10 yards out. Here in the second quarter, you just saw it, Cameron Albright with the pick six. And that's where we are, North Cobb, the 14-7 lead. 7:45 to go in the first half. Plenty of time for Wilkes. Good job by the offensive line. And that is incomplete and through the hands of the receiver.
Yeah, the play took forever to develop, you know, and I think that, of course, you know, that Shelby Wilkes was just going to try to make any play that he possibly could. Of course, the ball was actually dropped by the receiver there, but most importantly, you know what? I think North Cobb is doing a real good job of not giving him any spaces to throw the ball to. I mean, they're playing zone. They're playing man-to-man. They're doing so many different things to mix it up to make Shelby think a lot.
3 guys with their hands down on this one. 3rd and 8. Another big third down for Valdosta. The rush is on, and they get to Wilkes. That's a sack back to the 22. And I'll tell you, Ray, the Wildcats are moving backwards, like you just said. Give North Cobb a lot of credit because defensively, they fixed something that appeared to be broken early on, or at least on that early touchdown drive. And right now, all the momentum in the world for the home North Cobb Warriors.
I tell you, when it's a little bit easier to make those type of defensive play calls when it's 3rd and long. And, of course, they haven't shown that play right there defensively yet by North Cobb. And what they did was just bring the linebacker right around the edge there and, you know, right for a blitz, and it just made a great play.
High punt, it bounces at the 44. That's a great bounce. Wow. All the way down to the 21. That's where North Cobb will take over. Tyler Queen, the sophomore quarterback, will be at it again. We've seen a bunch of yards on the ground from Queen. Javante Herod, after a tough opening few sequence that included a big fumble, he's been rumbling downhill. Remember, on the year, almost 500 yards, 6.1 per carry, and 8 touchdowns coming into this thing. Herod with number 9 already in the game. So 6:52 to go here in the first half. The visiting Valdosta Wildcats made that 4-hour bus ride. About half the team, the starters, came over yesterday, stayed in a hotel. Some of the other guys came over today. Never an easy trip. They came out on fire. Things have been a lot slower, though, in the past 8 to 10 game minutes. Queen in the shotgun. The handoff, running all the way across east-west. Oh, that's a good job, though, by the defense, stringing him out. Nick Miller, the dangerous Nick Miller. 8 total touchdowns on the season, but good job defensively, and that's about a 2 or 3 yard gain only.
Yeah, on that play right there, you know, it was just you had 2 backs in the backfield, you know, and it was just sort of like another read option. Hand the ball off, goes right around, off tackle right there towards the left, and he looks like he's a little speed demon. Little Nick Miller got around that corner kind of quick.
He did, but give the credit to the defense. They swung him all the way out there. They strung it along, and there wasn't much there either, so that brings up yet another 3rd down. We have had a plethora of 3rd downs in this thing. 3rd and 6 from the 25.
Well, if I'm North Cobb right now, I wouldn't, you know, take it easy on Valdosta. I'll try to get whatever lead that I can possibly can. I wouldn't call the dogs off just yet, especially the way they've been moving the ball.
Queen rolls right, plenty of time, throws it up. Defender slips. Wow, that was a tough play. You see right there, the defender of Valdosta totally slipped on that play, or else I think you really would have had a potential interception right there.
Yeah, that would have been a great play by Josh Norwood to intercept that ball. And I think that if he didn't slip, he would have had that one.
Yeah, the sophomore was there. You see him bat the ground. The ball was coming right to him.
Don't call the dogs off when you have the opportunity. When you got momentum, keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. Alex Medina with the punt. That's going to bounce. Another big-time bounce. Are you kidding me with these?
He has to feel that.
Wow.
He has to feel that.
That thing's rolling down to the 20.
Defensive back for the Atlanta Falcons, Dominique Franks, got fired because he would not go field punts. You know,
but then they brought him back.
They brought him back to do it 2 weeks later. Did not get enough of it.
And if anybody knows a thing or two about the Falcons, it is my broadcast partner right here. He is, maybe you remember, big play Ray Buchanan. Played in the Super Bowl. What year was that?
1998. 99 year, 98 Super Bowl season. I tell you what, that was a fun year, Justin, man. We had it rocking and rolling.
You had it cooking that year. For live scoring and highlights of all the games, Play On Sports is covering. Make sure you go to www.playonsports.com/football playoffs. Wilkes in the shotgun. Once again, a single back set. A couple of receivers up top. He's going to go to the back. And that's maybe a yard. Warrior defense once again wins that battle.
Well, it's still just 14-7, man. And I tell you what, Justin, what I'm noticing in North Cobb, they starting to, move the defense around a little bit. On that one right there, they had man across the board, and then they put about 8 guys in the box and said Peter's throwing the ball. I think that North Cobb might want to try to make, Shelby Wilkes actually beat them through the air and not on the ground.
Single coverage down below here. They're not going there, though. They're continuing to pound it. That's a good run, about 8 yards, setting up the makeable third, and it appears 1.
Ryan Gillespie, I hear you, man, since 2010. This has been a West Coast offense type of team. He said that, this year that they haven't changed anything from when they used to pass the ball in the past.
Gotten better.
Yeah,
right.
They've just gotten better at what they're doing when it comes to running it.
Couple of back set, 3rd and 1. Once again, the handoff going left side, penetration. And they are not going to get that. Malcolm Joseph strung out to the left. And boy, this North Cobb defense swarming right now. That's going to set up a 4th and short. That's 4th and about a foot or so. I don't think you can go for this right here at this time, can you? 4.5 minutes to go, down a touchdown. Maybe you try and draw them off sides here, Ray?
Well, I would at least try that at first, but this is a little bit risky. It's 14-7. Just bring the punter and go out there and just punt the ball away. They don't need any more mistakes.
No, I agree. The offense stayed on the field, though, making me think maybe that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
They're going to play it simple here. Clock running down to 4 minutes remaining in the first half. A 14-7 North Cobb lead.
Tell you what, Justin, though, if North Cobb can actually field this punt, they're in pretty good field position.
And especially after that 5-yard penalty. So they're going to be punting it back from the 24. You see the punter all the way on the 7. A couple of returners here for North Cobb. They can't let this thing bounce. We've seen it a couple of times. Bite each team in the rear. Snap is good. Lefty punt is up. Nice and high. That's going to be fair caught at the 43. Good job there by the punter. And the fair catch leaves North Cobb in good territory here. So early on, Valdosta had their first 2 drives right in about the 40-45. North Cobb started back a little bit. The Warriors, though, they've been able to move the ball, score a couple of times, and now they have this good field position as they're going to get right back into it. Tyler Queen, couple of backs in the backfield, single receiver up top. Boy, they don't waste any time, Ray. They get right to that line.
They're getting up there. I like the tempo because that can get Valdosta offset. Look, They're not even prepared or ready.
And there is a flag. You just called that one. There is the handoff, though. You see Xavier Borshade, the receiver, who does have 7 rushes this year for 36 yards and a score. We'll have to wait on the officials. Once again, the man in the white hat, that's James Arnold, the referee.
I want to see who's this against. Because I saw a lot of movement by Valdosta up front, but, maybe there was some movement by North Cobb.
This is going to go against North Cobb. You see the official asking the coach, what do you want to do?
I don't see how this is happening.
It's a false start.
False start. I'm not seeing that. They're already lined up. North Cobb is lined up. Everybody has the play. And I'm wondering if there's any jerk movement going on by the offensive line, not really paying attention, because I see, of course, I see Tyler Queen looking to the sideline sometimes for the play.
Well, I think the Valdosta movement defensively may have drawn somebody. a bit offside. And there's the nice little screen to Borshade. He's got some room. Borshade, one man to beat. Beats him. Going down the left side. 10, 5, touchdown. Xavier Borshade. Wow.
That's the way to shut me up. I tell you what, Borshade has been dropping screen after screen, pass after pass in this first quarter, in the second quarter now. And that play right there, to take a screen play that far and go and score, dive into the end zone, awesome play by Xavier Borshade, man. Borshade did his thing right there. He looked like Deshaun Jackson from the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's a great call. I mean, the athleticism, the speed, extra point is up, and it is good. That is 21 unanswered for North Cobb. And, boy, was that electric. Just a little sort of little route right there. And you want to talk about a guy that just takes it to the house. Borshade from the left side cuts to the middle of the field, cuts back, had defenders draped all over him for the bulk of the run. And right now, everything going the way.
I saw something else too in Xavier Borshade. We see, and the coaches know that he can catch the ball. They wouldn't throw him the rock if they didn't expect that. But as he got his momentum going, Justin, getting downfield, I mean, he turned on the second gear and just totally made Valdosta look like they were running in quicksand.
There were a couple of defenders there that I thought really had him, but he turned it on, like you said, to that other gear. Wow, 2:58 to go here in the opening half. Again, Valdosta jumped out early. Nelson Herring with a touchdown. They looked to be the better team in the first, let's say, 6 or 7 minutes. But ever since, North Cobb, 21 unanswered, the defense has really picked things up. The crowd is going crazy, waving those orange hankies. Looks like we're in Death Valley in Clemson.
That's exactly what it looks like right now. They got the music bumping, and I tell you what, the sideline is jumping.
Bumping and jumping.
And I tell you what, they having a good time out there at North Cobb. It's always fun when you're winning.
Oh, yeah. A.J. Bordoon with that kick. That's taken, and a good run back. Still on his feet. Up to the 35. So a little bit of a positive sign. Rome wasn't built on a day. A little bit of a positive sign. Valdosta trying to get some momentum back. And they will have decent enough field position, it appears.
I wonder if this is going to take Coach Rance Gillespie out of his, conventional, setting right now with two backs. They might have to start coming out and passing the ball. Valdosta now being put in a situation when they're down 14 points before the half with 2 minutes and 52 seconds left to go. I want to see what type of offense they're going to play. Would they go out and be who they are, or would they have to go out there and change? Because right now it's playing highly in the favor to North Cobb's defense.
Well, you see a penalty right there, and this field position not as good as we thought it would be. So Valdosta backed up again on right around the 14-yard line. I think if you're Rance Gillespie, you do what you do. You're Valdosta. You've been a program for 100 years. You have 23 state titles. You went 7-3 this year. You're good enough. You need to believe in yourself and trust in your stuff. And there is a run. And, boy, that's a loss of about 4 yards. This North Cobb defense, Ray Buchanan, it is swarming right now.
They're swarming to the ball. You get 9 to 10 guys rallying around the runner each time, or if it's a guy catching the ball. I tell you, North Cobb right now is playing lights-out defense. If they can keep this same type of momentum, they will be feeling pretty good before the half.
Yeah, and each team with a couple of timeouts, 2:20 to go in the first half. If you're Valdosta, be really careful right here. Be really careful.
Yeah, they don't want to throw another interception.
No.
Put themselves in grave danger.
2nd and 11. The shotgun. Wilkes, pressure's on. Nobody's open, and he's taken down at the 5.
Justin, he had nobody to throw the ball to. North Cobb playing great defense. 2 safeties were sitting over the top just waiting for him to just throw a Christmas gift. And I'm pretty sure that Shelby Wilkes, man, he wanted to hold on to the ball.
He may be a little gun-shy right now. Emmanuel Slaughter in there, had 4 sacks on the season, picked up another one right there. Slaughter also 30 tackles on the season, and he had a 30-yard interception for a touchdown in that last game in the shutout victory, 31-0 against Campbell. So everything defensively clicking for North Cobb, and I mean everything. Right now, Valdosta, they can't even move the ball forward. That running game, which is vaunted, which has Malcolm Joseph, Nelson Herring looked really good early on, Ray. There have been adjustments, and they've done nothing in the past 12 or so minutes.
Not unless they can get a home run hitter by Nelson Herring or either Malcolm Joseph, because that quick strike sort of like that's what they lived on this year. I think that now they have to be included in the passing game, which, we talked about earlier in this game that they've been a part of this passing game, but I just don't see it. North Cobb is getting to the football. It's not only getting the job done on the back end, but that front seven now, they're totally giving Valdosta everything they got.
And now you have a 3rd and 16 with 1:50 to go in the opening half. 21-7 Warriors in the lead. And before they had, like you said it, the cover 4 in a very similar situation. What defense are they in right here?
Right now, it's like a prevent sort of defense. You got 4 guys back, another cover 4. Everybody's sitting back, and he's just going to throw the ball
airing it out.
Another interception.
Oh, that's picked off.
Look.
And they're going down to the 5-yard line. That is a disaster right now for the visitors from Valdosta. That is exactly what they said they can't do.
I saw that happen in Justin before it was actually coming out of his hands. They was in the perfect defense, and they just waiting back there like catching a punt.
That's a tough throw for an NFL quarterback. You're back in your end zone. You look all the way down the left side of the field there. That is just a tough pass. He had single coverage, but Wilkes intercepted again. Now on the 5, Queen in the shotgun. He's going to hold it himself, call his own number. Defense moves over. Queen, though, through the middle. He is in the end zone, and boy, has this game just turned on its head. North Cobb with their 4th straight touchdown, and they are now leading 27-7 with 1:36 to go in the opening half.
Well, that was pretty easy right there, man, for Tyler Queen.
Too easy.
Oh, it was so easy. I don't know if Valdosta's going to look themselves in the mirror here quickly, or if this can even happen before they can correct it, before they get into the half. But that was a huge play by North Cobb with the interception, and it was just a terrible play by Valdosta because Shelby Wilkes did not at all get that ball down the field enough. It was clearly underthrown, and North Cobb in the perfect defense to intercept it.
So a couple of interceptions. Wow. Cameron Albright we saw earlier with the pick 6. Now we saw what turned out to be ineffective pick 6. Queen runs that last play in, and you want to talk about just the ball rolling downhill, going all the momentum in the world for North Cobb. 1.5 minutes to go before the break, 28 unanswered, and Valdosta has a lot of work to do here if they want to get that 88th playoff victory since 1948.
Yeah, it's fired up in here. You said it's like Death Valley. All these orange towels, they getting it rocking and rolling. 28-7, Justin, with 1 minute 36 seconds left to go in the half, man. And I'm like, if I'm Valdosta right now, if I'm one of these guys and I'm on that bench, I'm looking for the leaders to sort of like step it up too. You guys got to go out here and go and fight. You do not want to go out a loser in this situation and have your heads down and feeling like life is over. Anything can happen. This is high school football.
And he's former Falcon superstar Ray Buchanan with us. I'm Justin Hanover. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Twitter at PlayOnSports, #GHSA Football, as we come to you here from the GHSA Network. So another kickoff. That's a good sign if you are the team kicking it off from the 5. And again, the coverage, excellent. Not even getting to the 20-yard line, down at the 19. So 1:32 to go. 2 timeouts for the Wildcats. They trail 28-7. Do you be aggressive here if you're Coach Gillespie, or do you read the situation, understand you've got to get in that locker room as soon as possible and just try and run this half out?
You need to try to run the half out. You don't need any more interceptions right now. And, of course, Shelby Wilkes right now is a little bit shook. They need to put the ball into the hands of their playmakers, but this is one of those games to where it's a little bit unorthodox. It's not who Valdosta is, and now they're putting this thing clearly in the hands of Shelby Wilkes.
Well, Wilkes going for that's a completed pass and very nicely done. You see Alex Kaysen, the junior wide receiver, and all of a sudden the philosophy changes. They're up to midfield. Now you try and see some momentum back, and you get some points here. Still 1:23. Clock stops on the first down, setting the chains. Couple of timeouts, and that's probably the best thrown ball by Wilkes thus far.
Maybe this 2-minute offense is a little bit better feel for him right now. That was a perfect throw.
Yeah.
He got rid of the ball fast. Let's see if he get rid of it again.
And again, he's looking up top there to Kaysen. Single coverage. No call there. Wanting a little PI. You see Sherrod Idman trying to politic with the officials. Nothing called, though. But there's a little more zip on that ball right now from Shelby Wilkes. He's not lollipopping it up top. Latrell Gibbs.
That was a great play by Latrell. I mean, we had one-on-one coverage out there. He had the interception earlier, took it to the crib, took it to the house, and I like that play right there. Nice pass breakup.
So that brings up a 2nd and 10 from midfield. Once again in the shotgun, Wilkes. And the receiver slips. That was ugly from the get-go. You see Kaysen just slipping down on the play with his back turned to the ball. So now with 1:03 to go, it's a 3rd and 10.
He ended up losing his footing there.
Yeah.
It was a double move, too. He had ran up the football field about 10 to 12 yards, cut towards the post, and then brought it back outside towards the corner and ended up tripping up right there. And it was an easy play for Latrell to make.
He was falling knowing Ray Buchanan was out there in coverage ball hawking.
Would have been an interception, Justin.
Once again, Wilkes the shotgun, sets up a little screen. Malcolm Joseph tries to make some guys miss. Does not happen. No gain on the play. 4th and 10, 52 seconds to go. Clock is running. North Cobb right now not calling the timeout. They're going to let this thing bleed down. 41 seconds. Looks like they're content to go in the locker room up these 3 scores and not try and press the issue. But Wilkes still in there. They're going to go for this. We have a timeout, though, on the play.
I tell you what, I'm looking at how they're running this 2-minute, Justin.
That's an interesting call, though.
And the way they're running it now, everybody out there for Valdosta, even the lineman, it looks like, has a wristband. And they all looking at their wristband, and I can see the coach calling his play from the sideline, and that's how Shelby is actually getting the calls in. And so whatever call it is, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever number that they're actually giving up there on the sideline, or if there's a letter, everybody knows what that play is. So it's easy for those guys to think and know what they're supposed to go run. This is the type of tempo they might need, too, in that second half to come out, sort of like in a 2-minute offense if they don't happen to score right here.
It's an interesting call here, though. Look, it's a 4th and 9 from midfield. I mean, you know this is a pass play. If you're the defense, you know the pass is coming. So it's interesting to not just pump this thing away and get out of dodge for the half. They're being aggressive and they're going for it. This could work or this could backfire.
If it does backfire, North Cobb gets the ball. They're in the prime position to throw a Hail Mary.
Fakes the pass, goes up top, and that is intercepted at the 27. North Cobb going the other way. Keon Reeves with the interception gets it right back to close to the line of scrimmage, plus a couple of yards. 17 seconds remaining right now. Enough time. No timeouts left, though. Shane Queen, his son Tyler, will be under center at the 47-yard line of Valdosta.
Well, was that supposed to be a punt? The way it was a return?
It turned out to be.
It looked like a punt off an interception.
We'll see how this plays out. A.J. Burdoon, a very good kicker. Now remember, no timeout, so you've got to stop that clock, moving the chains, and then spike it.
Nice interception by Keon Reeves, though. But now putting North Cobb in a great situation right inside their own 50.
It's gravy right now. If they score, there's Borshade again, and that's off his hands. That's his 3rd drop of the game. He made that great touchdown earlier. But Xavier Borshade, a couple of drops here. So 13.9 seconds, 28-7 Warriors in the lead. First half coming to a close.
If Borshade caught that ball, it was wide open in the middle of the field. It probably would have mimicked that touchdown run he had earlier.
Well, his eyes probably lit up. He probably thought exactly what you were saying.
He was gone before he caught the ball.
So Queen in the shotgun on his own 48. Couple of receivers. He has Miller. Doesn't go that way. Instead, he goes up top for Borshade. I'll tell you, he had Nick Miller in the middle of the field. Would have been close if he was able to pick up that first down and stop the clock. I think he may have, but if not, obviously the half would have ended. So 9 seconds to go here. You're almost playing with house money. If you're North Cobb right now, you're up by 3 touchdowns. You're in good position. Now let's take a shot right here. Let's get this first down, spike it, see if we can get a Hail Mary or a field goal attempt. Why not?
I saw Tyler Queen's arm right there. It looked pretty strong, so I'm pretty sure he can get that thing all the way down to the end zone.
Queen rolls left, flush to the right. Has some time. He's going to run this thing. Clock winding down. There should be a second to go here. Says .2. Gets out of bounds at the 36. Probably out of Bordoon's range, I would think. The senior kicker, real good kicker. It's a little bit far, though.
I don't even see a kicker coming out to get ready.
No.
But this is the Valdosta. This is what they did to take the chance. We were talking about it earlier, and now
defense not really ready.
North Cobb is in that situation, Justin, to throw a Hail Mary.
And here it is, Queen. All zeros on the clock. Throws it up to the left side for Borshade. Wow, there was a seam there, but thrown a little far. And that is the first half. And boy, oh boy, what a first half it turned out to be for North Cobb. Nelson Herring on the bird first. Valdosta takes the 7-0 lead, but then a minute later, Javante Herod, the 10-yard run, even the score up after a couple of big runs from Tyler Queen. Then the second quarter, all about the home Warriors. Cameron Albright, the pick six, with 8.5 to go. Gave North Cobb the 14-7 lead. Then Queen to Borshade. Borshade goes 62 yards for the 21-7 lead, and you just saw it there. A minute and a half to go. Tyler Queen after the big interception, the 6-yard touchdown run. And Ray, as we go to the break, it's a 28-7 North Cobb lead. And your thoughts?
Boy, I did not see this coming, and I tell you what, Valdosta right now got to be scratching their head, and Rance Gillespie right now is thinking, you know, we done got ourselves in this trouble, and this is not who we are. Now they have to pass the ball to try to come back and put this game clearly on the back of Shelby Wilkes. On the opposite side of things, I'm looking at North Cobb, Justin, and I'm impressed. I'm really seeing the way they're moving the ball. Tyler Queen is being a leader out there, just like his dad done taught him. And not only that, the defense, man, pick six by Cameron Albright, pick six by Latrell Gibbs. I mean, they're
almost pick six.
He almost got
Queen
there.
Queen on the next play
gave it to him. So that's we almost call that a six.
Right.
And I like the way they've been, intercepting balls and making big plays on defense and offensively. This thing is totally led by Tyler Queen, man, and everybody's rallying around him. All they got to do is catch some of them balls, and I think that they're going to be okay.
So we're going to take a break. It is halftime. North Cobb with a 28-7 lead over Valdosta. He's Ray Buchanan. I'm Justin Hanover. Make sure you keep it locked here. We're going to come back for the second half. Enjoy the band. You're watching on the GHSA Network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3, beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3, beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3, beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3, beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
And welcome back to Emory Sewell Stadium. The North Cobb Warriors, 28 unanswered points. They have the 28-7 lead over Valdosta at the half. My broadcast partner, former Falcon, big play Ray Buchanan. I am Justin Hanover. Some halftime stats. Valdosta, well, they struggled. Shelby Wilkes Ray, 7 of 18, 76 yards. Those big 3 interceptions on the ground. The Wildcats, 20 carries for 27 yards, 103 yards total. And for North Cobb, Tyler Queen, only 3 of 12, but the big touchdown to Xavier Borshade, 109 yards. He had the touchdown there with the interception. And rushing-wise, the Warriors, 16 carries, 106 yards, and 205 yards in total.
Yeah, Tyler Queen for North Cobb, he's been that exciting guy right now, moving the ball for that offense. But for the most part, when he's actually throwing the ball, you saw Xavier Borshade actually get that 62-yard touchdown run. I think it'll probably be a lot more of those if they hold on to the ball. But on the flip side, on that defensive side for North Cobb, playing outstanding. I'm thinking that, we're getting the interceptions, versus, a team that actually has to throw the ball. They've been taking advantage of Valdosta everywhere they can.
So it's 28-7 in favor of North Cobb. A couple of other scores going on all at the half. Walton with the 7-0 lead over Parkview. In that one, no Tyron Jones and no Chris Carson. Sort of a battle of attrition there in Parkview. We also have Camden County, the 21-10 lead over Hillgrove at the break. And Grayson, Robert Candici, all over Wheeler, 35-6. So this is the first day of the playoff action. We are live on the GHSA network, and it's a 28-7 lead in favor of North Cobb. Early on, Valdosta with that first touchdown. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Nelson Herring from 6 yards out. Everything was looking good for the visitors, but then it started to snowball. A minute later, Javante Herod, the 10-yard touchdown run to tie it up at 7. Tyler Queen really started to flex his muscles, started running the rock. Then the second quarter, the pick 6. Cameron Albright made it 14-7 in favor of North Cobb. Then with 3 minutes to go in the first half, Queen to Borshade. Just a little out, Ray, and then Borshade, the electricity, the speed, the athleticism, 62 yards in the end there, and Queen a 6-yard run off of another interception, and it's now a 3-touchdown lead in favor of what a lot of people would say were the underdogs coming in.
Well, I tell you what, Shelby Wilkes has thrown 3 interceptions, and he's steady going to have to throw the ball just to sort of get back into the game. It's 28-7. So watch North Cobb as they steady like ball hawking the ball, trying to get the interceptions that they need. But for the most part, when you talk about Nelson Herring and also Malcolm Joseph for Valdosta, they are playing this magic trick called Houdini because they have not been able to get the ball and able to make the plays. They have disappeared out there on the field. I look forward to seeing them actually get involved a little bit more on that offense this second half.
And they had a real good drive early on. It looked like Valdosta was going to not run away with it, but they were going to flex their muscles early on, which they did. And then it went silent, as you said, the Houdini act. That'll be taken out from the 1-yard line. Valdosta looking to get a little momentum early on, and they are tripped up at the 21. Give North Cobb's defense, as you said, former Falcon Ray Buchanan here, I'm Justin Hanover. Give North Cobb's defense, those linebackers, that D-line, they're just blowing up plays, and there's nothing doing.
Look, they getting the penetration that they need from the defensive front. The linebackers are running sideline to sideline to keep definitely Nelson Herring and Malcolm Joseph running sideways. And not only that, on the back end, they're playing man-to-man, they're playing zone, they're doing what they want to. But most important, they're getting the interceptions when they needed to turn over the ball to get the ball back into North Cobb's hands.
And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at PlayOnSports, #GHSA Football. There's a positive first play. You see Rance Gillespie, I'm sure, in the locker room had a lot of choice words for his boys who made this 4-hour bus ride all the way here to North Cobb in, I don't know, what do we call this, Kennesaw, Ackworth?
Yeah, I tell you, I would not want to be in the locker room of Valdosta at that point. North Cobb's, I would love to hear what's going on in there. Just keep it going. But, yes, you can see right there on that play, Tywan Smith, they got to get him involved a little bit more on this offensive side, too.
They do. And you said it, Smith, 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games. He only had 5 catches in the first 8 games. So the tight end really came alive there late, started to really click with his quarterback in Wilkes. We didn't see much of him in the first half. They're going to try and get him going a little bit now. Ball up to the 40-yard line. That'll set up a 2nd and 5, a minute into the second half. North Cobb with that 28-7 lead. Wilkes in the shotgun, 1 back set, trips up top. Wilkes is going to keep it here on the near side. That is a completed pass. Alex Kaysen down to the 32. So signs of life here early on for Valdosta.
Well, it looked like they want to give them the same dose of the medicine that they got from North Cobb in that first half by coming out with this quick offensive, high-octane, fast-paced passing. And it's getting the ball out of Shelby Wilkes' hands very fast. He doesn't have to make a lot of decisions. He knows right where he wants to throw the ball.
You see the handoff to Herring. Defense tries to thin him out. That's a run for 6 yards down to the 25. They tried to string him out. Good cutback inside for Nelson Herring, who has 9 touchdowns on this season.
Well, they're coming right back out. They spreading the ball out. They doing the checks with me, with the quarterback, with the looking at the sideline. He's actually getting his plays from the sideline now too. So they're trying to keep this tempo up pace to sort of keep North Cobb on the back of their heels.
Yeah, there's no huddle here. Single back, Wilkes. That's incomplete. It would have been right around that first down marker.
That would be the 3rd time they done went to Yardney Payne. Number 14 for Valdosta. This is 3rd time. It looks like they're trying to, spread the ball around. Like you said earlier, like 12 different guys actually touched the ball, at least got a touchdown. Yeah. And so now, if they can just hold on to the ball when necessary, do the same thing that North Cobb was doing to them in the first half, they'll be a little bit more successful.
Yeah, not the most talented Valdosta team we've ever seen, obviously. Just a bunch of gritty guys in a great program driving for the first down to the 21. 12 different players, Ray, have caught at least 1 pass for the Wildcats. 6 different players have scored at least a touchdown, and no one receiver has more than 25 receptions or 296 yards or 4 touchdowns. So this is a spread the wealth type of an offense.
I like that. 6 guys with about 179 yards at least worth of yards receiving, and that's impressive.
Here's Wilkes in the shotgun. That's complete. Breaks a tackle, going to the 5, and he dives for the end zone. A huge start here to the second half with 9:38 to go. And you want to talk about a statement here out of the locker room. Valdosta has just made that statement.
And I tell you what, that was his go-to guy, Tywan Smith, man, number 36 for Valdosta. Getting him involved. Looked like they're coming out, and that drive right there, running the plays with a lot of passion, high octane, high fast pace to sort of get North Cobb on the back of their heels. And guess what? 6 touchdown.
That is up and good. So it's suddenly a 28-14 game. Valdosta, they fire the first shot here. Takes them just 2.5 minutes. I'll tell you, in the break, I spoke to the Valdosta TV crew over there, and I said, can you guys come back from this? And they said, yes, we can. I don't know if we will, but we have an offense that can. And they are proving them right, because if the first 2.5 minutes are an indication, this team's fired up, and they're not ready to go home just yet.
Well, 2 of those passes on that drive went to Tywan Smith, and that's sort of like his go-to guy. And you can see on that particular touchdown catch and run right there, he was running relentless. He was not going to let one guy bring him down, and he got into the end zone. So I wonder what was actually said in that locker room to get this team fired up to be able to put up a quick 6 points coming out in this third quarter.
No doubt. The offensive coordinator, Mark Loudermilk, he obviously spoke to Coach Gillespie. They made a couple of adjustments. The team looked a lot more fired up here, and we've got a ball game. Full half to go, basically, just a 2-score difference. Remember Valdosta, Malcolm Mitchell, Jay Rome, Georgia Bulldogs, recently in this program. Doesn't look like they have any of those blue chippers as of right now. But we'll see next year if Joseph O'Haron can really blossom. And that kick is not what you want to do. Setting up North Cobb in good field position with it going out of bounds.
Well, that's definitely a flag. That gives extra yards right there for North Cobb, put them in pretty good field position. That's sort of like to let the air out of that momentum that they actually had. So I just want to see now the offense did their part, Justin. I want to see what Valdosta's actually going to do defensively and what kind of changes they might have had actually during this during the halfway point now going into the third quarter.
And they're once again over that ball. The defense not even close to set. And you see Tyler Queen in the offense. There's Queen, takes a snap, rolls to the right. Actually, that's not Queen.
Yeah, they flipped the script there.
That's Cameron Albright, the athletic pick-6 defensive player from earlier on. He can do it all, though, Albright.
Yeah.
He can play quarterback, receiver, safety, scored a couple of touchdowns. His 39 tackles on the season, so a little wrinkle right there early on.
You know what they call those guys athletes.
And there's Queen, though, runs straight up the middle. That's a first down to the 39.
This offensive line, we haven't said nothing too much about North Cobb offensive line, but they are totally controlling and dominating on that front line of scrimmage there. And for the quarterback, both quarterbacks have an opportunity to get the yards that they just finished getting. Quarterback draws, basically.
Very experienced offensive line. Howell and Czar, a couple of seniors, Minnow and Davis as well. Ernie McQuaid, the only non-senior, and he's a junior. Nothing doing right there. Valdosta with the penetration as they come inside.
Yeah. Couldn't get too much right there. I tell you what, Javante Arard was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah. John Bellamy was in there, a couple of his friends as well. So that sets up a 2nd and 10, Ray. 8:50 to go in the third quarter. And numerous yellow hankies are out.
Both defenses will be with their tongues. I wish I had binoculars so I could see to the sideline to see if their tongue's going to be hanging out. Because they're coming out with this fast-paced, no-huddle offense, and that usually wears down the defense. It can also wear down the offense, too. But
these days, that's the sign of the times. You're an old man. You don't play that football back in your day. But these days, with these spread offenses and the Texas Techs and the Oklahoma States, 70 points combined seem to be the norm.
The game has evolved.
It has. So Queen in the shotgun. They lost 5 yards there, a 2nd and 15. The pass, that's complete to Borshade. He has the seam, 20, 15, 10, 5. Borshade again.
Wow. Xavier Borshade just finished taking an easily slant route and just went the distance. And once he got going, there was nobody going to catch him, Justin.
No, there was no safety help. There was nothing going on right there.
Nobody in the middle of the field. Both safeties were basically at the numbers, both sides of the numbers of that field. The middle of the field was sitting wide open. Looked like they were in man-to-man situations, and definitely the cornerback ended up losing that battle.
The speed and the electric running of Borshade, though, man, is that impressive. Extra point, Bordoon. That's up, and that's good, and the 3-touchdown advantage. And that was
Borshade.
Was that Tyler Queen? That was Tyler Queen actually kicking that extra point, I believe.
Yeah, it seems like he's getting a big hug there from Papa. Hey, I tell you what, I don't know if Valdosta will be able to come back if they're going to go piggyback, go pat for pat, tat for tat, score for score, with North Cobb.
Well, you tell me. I mean, you've played on all levels. Ray Buchanan, former Falcon star. I'm Justin Hanover. You come out, you throw that first blow. You feel good. You're within 2 scores. All of a sudden, they come back right down your throat. I mean, that's tough.
North Cobb didn't change anything of who they were. They came out with that shotgun, read option type of offense. Quarterbacks kept the ball a couple of times. And we also saw Cameron Albright, who you've been saying playing wide receiver, playing linebacker, safety, does it all. He actually had a big play. But on that particular play, Tyler Queen just finished throwing a nice slant route, man, there to just show that we have so many different weapons. We can beat you at so many different things, and it's been working out.
For all the best coverage of Georgia football throughout the playoffs, make sure you go to WSBTV.com. Bordoon gets a foot into it. Let's call it at the 3. Run up the middle. A little bit of a seam up to the 25-yard line. You see number 7, Sherrod Inman there. Yeah, remember, once again, that 91-yard kickoff return to begin the second half of that blowout against Coffee County. And he gets up to the 25. So Valdosta once again with 8:18 to go, enough time. But they've got to score. They've got to get some stops here. That defense has been shredded.
Yeah, I think that if they can do the same thing that they just finished coming out with, high-octane, fast-paced offense, especially spreading the ball around a lot of different receivers, it can wear North Cobb down. They need to go right back and score and make this game 35-21 real quick.
Yeah, and Wilkes in the shotgun. Good protection. Pockets closing down. He throws it up, and that's intercepted once again. So North Cobb defensively, and you see the penalty flag. Romello Lewis, an impressive game so far. And this senior, the D-back, with another interception.
Romello Lewis has been perfect position again. It looks like whenever you get Shelby Wilkes on the run a little bit, and he has too much time to throw or have too much time to think about throwing the ball, it just let North Cobb sets themselves up back there in the secondary to go get this interception.
And you see the personal foul there called by the referee, James Arnold. That'll tack on another 15 yards. And there's still a lot of time, Ray, but I'll tell you what, if you punch this thing up and you go up 42-14, I'm not going to say it's lights out, but it's going to be an uphill mountain to climb.
Well,
Queen, the shotgun. Herod, up the middle, breaks the first line of penetration, and he gets down to the 12.
Well, you see how the interceptions are being thrown by Shelby Wilkes. He does his best, Justin, when he has the play and he has his wide receiver he's going to throw to.
The quick
when he's sitting back there
drop.
thinking too much, it's been interceptions every time tonight.
There's Queen, and good job defensively there. See the penetration there, and they take Queen down.
Yeah, that was
Clarence Smith, I believe, on that play. So it's a third and 1. 7:20 to go, 35-14. The home Warriors in the lead. There's Queen, and
the offense jumped a little bit there. I saw 2 guys, actually, the fullback that was setting a heavy set pistol look, and also the right tackle also moved as well.
There may not be a worse penalty, Ray, than when you do that on a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, because
when you know you can pick up 1, and now you're back to the 3rd and 6.
Yeah, good call. That's the discipline, but that's what it actually happens sometimes when we're on a fast-paced offense.
So 3rd and 6 here, up 21, 7 minutes to play in the 3rd. Queen barking the signals. He's got a man, and that is close to being intercepted. They're going to call that incomplete.
Yeah, that was almost a nice play by Clarence Smith. I
think that was Cameron Albright. He's got to almost run a better route. He's got to almost come crisper to the ball. Tony Gonzalez-esque post up and catch that ball versus running a little bit flatter.
It was a nice little, it was a slant route, but the defensive back, Clarence Smith had a bead on it. He actually saw it too. He almost looked like the wide receiver, but I'll tell you what, North Cobb did a good job of getting the ball out of his hands.
So here's Bordoon, 35 yards out, plenty of leg. It is up, and it is no good.
A little bit left there, wide left.
Plenty of leg. That would have been good from 50, but you're right. So let's remember that. Bordoon with the miss.
North Cobb needed that miss, Justin. They needed that. That would have made it 38-14. And now they sit in a situation to where they can rethink about what they just finished doing in that last drive.
Indeed.
And not have those turnovers.
For live scoring and highlights of all the games Play On Sports is covering, make sure you go to www.playonsports.com/football playoffs. So Valdosta, once again, not exactly the best field position, backed up on about their own 20-yard line. Wilkes, 4 interceptions, the shotgun, 1 back, looks to get rid of it quickly, throws it out to the side, and that is completed for about 6 yards.
Now, I like that one right there now, Justin. You saw Shelby Wilkes right there look down the field, didn't have anything, and instead of forcing the ball down the field, he just threw his check down. That's a smart move by Shelby.
Everybody moving around across the field. We had a single receiver to the bottom. He moves up top, trips down below here on the right side. Wilkes waits, plenty of time, good pocket, collapsing a little bit, and that is incomplete. I'll tell you what, North Cobb, Ray, their coverage must be sensational tonight because it just appears that Wilkes initially has a lot of time, but there's nowhere to go with the ball.
And that's because North Cobb, they're rushing only 3 guys. That's it. 7 other guys right now to 8 are dropping back in coverage. So that's kind of hard to do. It's making them throw all underneath routes. So they got to take what they give them.
3rd and 4, Wilkes, plenty of time again. Flushed out to the right, pressure coming, throws it up, and oh boy, he just sailed that one. So another good stand by the North Cobb defense.
Usually that's a coach killer. Whenever you start to roll out to one way and then throw back to the other, the coaches on the sideline sometimes are saying, no.
There's just nobody open. There's nobody open at all. I mean, he has, if you give quarterbacks, as you know, 3, 4, 5 seconds to sit there, they should shred you.
They should. You know what? If they're going to run the screen plays, these are perfect times when you're only rushing three down linemen and everybody else is dropping. This is the perfect time to throw your screen plays.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's enough time. There shouldn't be any panic, and that's going to bounce. And we've seen this on numerous occasions. The returner doesn't get it. It bounces another 10, 15 yards. So North Cobb will start on their own 25-yard line. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at PlayOnSports, #GHSA Football.
Xavier Bourchade on that punt return opportunity they just had, he got a little bit nervous, thought he wasn't going to be able to field it, and the ball almost actually touched him. He got out the way just in time, and actually put them back by him not fielding it.
Yeah.
Extra another 15 to 18 yards.
And that is the 3rd time we've seen that happen, where the returner doesn't field it and it takes a fortuitous bounce for the punter. So Queen, once again, a couple of backs, gives this one off over left tackle, and nothing at all doing. The Wildcat defense swarming on that right side.
Yeah, that was a great play by defensive end. Chantoni Johnson did a real good job of holding contain. Made a great tackle. They're going to need a lot more guys to rally to the ball. If they want to start slowing down this offense, they're going to have at least 10 more yellow hats around that football.
Yeah. There's a little read option. Queen holds it. Ball, I think, may have come out. That was a little bit dicey there. In the end, though, a 2-yard run for Tyler Queen. Approaching 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. 35-17. North Cobb in the lead. If you're just joining us, Nelson Herring scored midway through the 1st quarter. Looked good for Valdosta. But then after that, 28 unanswered points for North Cobb.
Is it just me, or does Tyler Queen wearing number 15 and out there on the field sort of trying to, sort of mimicking that Tim Tebow and the way this offense is running?
To me, and here's Queen rolling left, throwing right. Good defensive breakup. You see there, number 30 in Anthony Smith, the junior linebacker. To me, Queen looks a little bit like Big Ben. He looks a little Roethlisberger-like, where he's big strides, big boy, whereas Tebow seems a little bit compact.
Well, you got 2 different arms. Big Ben's arm is a whole lot better than Tebow's, of course. But good call, because you know what Big Ben does like to roll out. He throws pretty good.
Athletic, right.
Outside the pocket, feet moving, can throw more accurate balls down the field than Tebow.
Low snap. the punt, and that is caught and fumbled at the 43. It appears Valdosta does recover. That could have been a death sentence right there if they fumble that one away. 4 interceptions in this one by Shelby Wilkes has hurt. 35-17, still 4.5 to go in the third quarter. Valdosta will take over. You run your offense right here, Ray Buchanan, don't you? You don't get anything crazy. There's enough time. You do what you do.
Yeah, I mean, so far right now, this last 2 drives, they've been putting this thing clearly in Shelby Wilkes' hands and having them throw the ball. The first drive they came out and had the opportunity to score. That was great. But you know what? You can't forget exactly who you are. They've been totally just taken out. Nelson Herring and also Malcolm Joseph completely out this game thus far.
Couple of backs there. Once again, the shotgun throw, and that is incomplete, just a little bit short. So Shelby Wilkes, we've seen a lot lately of just dropping back and trying to throw this thing. They're abandoning that run. I'm surprised. Malcolm Joseph, Nelson Herring on the year, each close to 1,000 yards, over 1,700. They've combined for 23 touchdowns on the ground. They've also caught 35 balls combined. They're not really being used right now. No. It's almost like they're not listening to what we're saying. Coach Gillespie's going away from that game.
Well, when you're down 14, 21 points sometimes in a game, it takes them completely out of who they are.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit tough when you're playing down. And, you know, sometimes certain teams stay disciplined in who they are. And I see that Valdosta's just not doing that.
They're not. And you saw once again their Wilkes. It's been this continuous pattern. It's been shotgun, get back there, have 3 or 4 seconds, nobody's open, pocket collapses, Wilkes sort of runs for his life and then just throws it away or throws it in the corner. They are abandoning that run right now, and I'm a little surprised. There's 4:17 to go still here in the third.
We're going to call defects.
Trips down below here. Wilkes again, clean pocket. That's complete. A couple of tackles broken. That's a first down. Down to the 33-yard line. A much-needed play. And that goes for about 25 yards.
Yeah, Trey Barrett, man, that was a nice little catch. I tell you what, those are the type of plays they're going to need. If they're gonna excel, they need guys to get yak yards after the catch. Get those yards, get the first down they need, move the ball.
Once again, Wilkes, that's intercepted number 5. And that's fumbled. Was he down? They're calling him down. Interception number 5. I think that's Hakeem Sawyer, the senior linebacker, had that 10-yard interception touchdown against Marietta a while ago. 103 tackles as well. And oh boy, that's not exactly what Valdosta was looking for on that all-important drive.
Nice interception by Hakeem Sawyer, but at the same time, I'm feeling a little bit woozy right now, you know, for Shelby Wilkes. You know, after your 3rd interception, you feel one way. Just imagine how you feel after you throw your 4th. And that was the 5th?
That was the 5th.
Oh, my goodness. He's not feeling good at all.
There's the read option, and Queen held it. Would have been better off to give it off to Herod there. Looks like a loss of 1 on the play.
Yeah, that didn't feel good. You know, wearing number 99 is Darius Sapp. I mean, he just ran dead smack.
Looked like Warren Sapp right there. You know, a thing or two about Mr. Warren Sapp.
Yeah, I mean, he looked just like him right there, and I think that probably rattled Queen right there as he got hit.
Yeah, winner of this game gets the winner of Hughes and Rockdale County. Rockdale County came into this 3-7, yet they finished 4th in the division because they were 3-3. And there's a run play up to the 48-yard line. You see number 33 right there, Javante Herod, quietly picking some things up here.
Nice little read play, tackle. Nobody there towards the left side of the field. Great blocking on that left side of the line of scrimmage. Nobody touched him until he got like 6 or 7 yards down the field.
Very makeable 3rd and 2, something Valdosta has not been in all game, but North Cobb here is. See the one-back set. Queen going to call his own number, gets a block and the first down, and he rumbles down to the 45, a fresh set of downs for North Cobb.
You know who got to win that battle right there? The defensive front.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that you got a defensive end losing contain and then an outside linebacker not being there to scrape off tackle. You know, there was no one there. Everybody was man-to-man coverage on the back end, And so far, you know what, North Cobb winning the line of scrimmage play.
I'll tell you what, though, it's an interesting play call. I don't think you see this at all in the NFL. You had the running back right next to Tyler Queen. He went forward as the blocker, and he became like the fullback almost as the lead blocker. Moved the defensive player out of the way, and then Queen sort of went around him down the left side.
Yeah.
Very interesting play call on that.
That is an interesting play call, and I guess that's where, you know, creativity started to come into play. When you got somebody as big as your quarterback right now, and that's like your third running back or maybe your number one, the way he's running.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can call those type of plays.
And he gives it off this time to Herod. And Javante Herod goes forward for about 3 yards with under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, as the clock clearly now the enemy of the visitors from Valdosta.
And running out of time, man. And I tell you what, that defensive front is getting wore down.
I was just going to ask you that, actually, and thank you for bringing that up. At what point are these guys going to really start dropping their heads and get really worn down?
Yeah.
Are we there yet?
Yeah, you're starting to get there because especially by a no-huddle offense, you don't have an opportunity to catch your breath. You're always down in the three-point stance. They're doing a lot of different things to you offensively, got you thinking. You can start to get a little bit woozy, and then also that's physical and mental breakdowns.
And there's the pass to Nick Miller. We haven't mentioned Miller a lot, but very talented senior wide receiver. He's done a lot this year. He really has 37 catches, 4 touchdowns. He's run the ball a lot, 8 touchdowns in total. Nick Miller, one of the weapons here that you could go to. So it sets up a 3rd and 7 from the 43. A minute 25 to go here in the third quarter. North Cobb slowing down that hurry up, though. They're still getting to the line, but they're trying to bleed this clock a little bit.
They're going back to a conventional, cover 4 look, cover
Queen.
2 look.
Good pocket. That is thrown incomplete to Borshade. Good job by the offensive line. I think Queen may have rushed that one a little bit. So it sets up a 4th and 7. No reason to go for it here. Pin Valdosta in. You're up by 3 scores. You're at the 42-yard line.
So, Valdosta eventually gets some stop. I think that's a win for them. I think they probably need to do it a little bit early if they're going to have opportunity to get back into this game. But to get, that 4th and long situation, get them an incomplete pass to get the ball back into their hands, that helps them out.
Sure. And Tyler Queen, the punter as well. Good rush on him, but he does get it off. Fair catch call, lets it bounce. And it was touched right at the 15 initially. So that's where Valdosta will take over.
Well, Justin, if they're going to make their move, Valdosta, if they're going to make their move, they better make it quick.
We keep saying that. We're like a broken record. They keep getting these chances.
I just don't know what Shelby Wilkes can actually do. Right now, he's needing some of these guys to make a play for him, but the ball is not even being thrown in the wide receiver's vicinity. It's not even around them. So far, the defensive backs for North Cobb has been around the ball. They're the ones that's looking like the receiver, and especially on that last play, the interception that he actually threw, that looked like it went straight to the other team as well. There's nobody around the ball but the defender.
And they do hand it off there in the shotgun set and nothing at all doing. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at PlayOnSports, #GHSA Football. Obviously in the hurry-up offense here, under a minute to go in the third quarter, 35-14 North Cobb. Some fireworks early on here in the third, nothing doing in the past 8 minutes. Valdosta's going to need to get some points and in a hurry.
Well, they don't need – right now they just don't need for Wilkes to be sitting back there throwing the ball with 4 and 5 seconds because he makes bad decisions.
And that's not going to get it done. The 5-yard pass with the clock keep on moving to make it a 3rd and about 5.
Absolutely.
They could have done that a little more maybe earlier, the little quick passes.
Mm-hmm. Well, Keon Reeves has been playing well on the back end. Romello Lewis, also Latrell Gibbs. I mean, Cameron Albright. Everybody's getting the opportunity to get these interceptions. And when you're getting those interceptions, you don't want to be the odd man left out, back there in that secondary. There's a lot of early Christmas gifts, and here it is. We're in November.
And now they run it. Interesting play call there. They haven't done that basically in the quarter. And now on that 3rd and 3, they try to run it. Nothing doing. This North Cobb defense, you mentioned it, Ray Buchanan, they don't blitz often, but they're very athletic. They run well. They have that 3-4 base defense, and it has just been phenomenal. So at the end of 3 quarters, North Cobb, they had that 3-touchdown lead at the half, and they have it right now, 35-14. Here in the third quarter, early on, Wilkes found Smith to make it 28-14, back within 2 scores. But then just a minute later, as they did in the first quarter, North Cobb responded, Queen to Borshade, to make it a 35-14 game. That's where we are right now. It's a 4th and 3 on their own 23 for Valdosta. They're going to have to punt this thing away, and this clock is going to start rapidly ticking away.
Well, that, if they do punt this ball, I mean, clearly
they have to punt it here.
But if they happen to do it the other way around, I mean, what do you do right now when you're Rance Gillespie and you're sitting down and you're down 21 points? I would go for it.
Would you? Maybe.
I would go for it and just say, the heck with it, or at least try to. Let me see what down it is. This third and short?
No, it's 4th and 3. 4th and 3.
Try to draw them all sides. Why not try to draw them all sides? Try to see if that worked. Try to get a freebie here or there.
Well, we'll see what he does right here, and you can join the conversation about high school sports. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at PlayOnSports, #GHSA Football. So I think they're listening to you, Ray. You're the former NFL player, All-Pro Ray Buchanan. I'm Justin Hanover, live from Emory Sewell Stadium. 4th and 3 on the 23. A huge play. The pass, and that is close to the first down. It'll depend on the mark.
Yeah, it looks like
it appears he did get it.
Great.
Wilkes with the completed pass, and they did get the first down. So the gamble pays off just barely, but Valdosta still with a little bit of life here. 11:51 to go in the fourth quarter.
I think that was a pretty good call to throw to Malcolm Joseph right there in the flat. I think, when it's 4th and short, defenses usually tend to get a little bit aggressive, and that's your mismatch, your linebacker on your running back.
So Wilkes again in the shotgun, a couple of receivers up top, good pocket. Wilkes throws it, wide open receiver. That's caught down to the 40, down to the 30, still driving forward to the 32. That's a big play.
Yeah, that was a great play right there by Montre Minto. The middle of that field has been sitting wide open.
Minto sat in the sweet belly right there, and he caught it, and he was able to turn, break a couple of tackles.
He's been sitting at that middle of the field. I'm looking at this now. I don't know if it was a busted play, but right now it looks like North Cobb is playing man-to-man across the board. I mean, you got 4 wide receivers just lined up. There's nobody back in the middle of the field.
They've got a blitz. They're coming, and that's batted down.
Another big play. That was a huge play.
Yeah,
Keon Reeves.
Yeah, Reeves once again comes up big. He's had you mentioned him before. He's had some solid plays. He's had a real good game. They brought the house there. They were aggressive.
He had made a big play earlier on the blitz, coming from that linebacker position where he plays linebacker and defensive back. So by him wearing number 4, I'm pretty sure that they got to look for him all over the field. But he's been pretty effective. He's getting in the quarterback's face. Good pass rush right there and blocking, knocking down the ball.
2nd and 10 here, 11:09 to go in the fourth quarter. One back, a couple of guys on the left, and we've got flags.
Momentum. We got momentum, Justin.
Well, until this one goes against the offense.
It's 35-14. If they can actually score 35-21,
there's time.
There's time. Anything can actually happen. What's going to happen? I'm not calling this saying that Valdosta is going to score, but what I am saying is if they do, defense is going to have to step up big to either get a 3-and-out or have to get a quick turnover, and then you have a game. Right now, it's still questionable.
And they're going for it on pretty much all 4th downs from here on forward. This is an aggressive Wildcat team that has no choice but to up-tempo and go for it. Wilkes shotgun again. He's got a wide-open receiver. That's a first down as he gets to the 15-yard line. So just like that, we still have 11 minutes to go in the quarter. Remember, we began the quarter with that 4th and 3 on the 23. Now, only a minute later, they've brought the ball all the way down to the 16-yard line with that first down.
Shelby Wilkes is doing a good job of finding the holes when necessary. Whenever North Cobb goes into a zone, he's finding a hole. And then right there on that play, he caught Sherrod Inman, just sitting there by himself.
Wilkes again, plenty of time, great pocket over the middle. That's complete to the 3-yard line. And quite a hit there. You want to talk about somebody that hits, Cameron Albright. He's done a little bit of everything tonight.
He's all over the place, and I'm surprised that there wasn't a flag right there. But it was a pretty good clean hit. He led with his shoulder, and it was a good clean hit. The ball didn't come out, but hey, look, Valdosta's in scoring territory.
They're calling it a 1st and 10 here, so 1st and goal. Wilkes throws the fade, and that's complete, and that's a touchdown.
Oh, it says
Kaysen out of bounds. Tough from our angle to see. All right, Alex Kaysen. I'll tell you, I don't love the fades. I just don't love those. You're within 3 yards of the end zone, a 1st down. Go mano a mano. Why more of a chance to potentially get it intercepted?
Especially the way these defensive backs have been playing. But he caught that one clearly over Latrell Gibbs. And that's a pretty good matchup out there, with Latrell Gibbs right now going up against Alex Kaysen out there on the edge. They had to at least give it a shot.
Wilkes, they're going with a power game inside the handoff and down to the 1 or 2 yard line.
There was not a hole in play right there for Nelson Herring. That was a great job by North Cobb. North Cobb now is bringing 4 to 5 guys down on the line of scrimmage. Of course, that's in the goal line defense, but as you can see, that they also, Valdosta's trying to spread the ball out. They're putting out three wide receivers and a tight end sometimes and trying to pull the guys so it won't be so clustered right there.
And I like that. I like that play call. Open things up. You have receivers. You have some options.
Good call.
Wilkes in the shotgun. A couple of receivers down below. 3 receivers up top. 5 receivers set. Total empty backfield. Wilkes, the snap. Pressure's on. Gets hit hard.
Yeah, he got blasted by Emmanuel Slaughter right there. He didn't have a shot.
No.
He didn't see it coming. Came from, his blind side.
Yeah, the senior linebacker really got in there. Nobody blocked him. 4 sacks on the season. Had 1 already here. Also had an interception return. Emmanuel Slaughter, athletic, fast, and strong. That's a good combination. So here we go. 4th and goal from the 2. 9:44 to go. 35-14 lead for the Warriors. Wilkes under center. Rolls to the right, throws it, and that is a great defensive play. You see numbers 5 and 6, Slaughter and Romello Lewis celebrating the defensive stand right there.
I tell you, that right there was a great play. Shelby Wilkes tried to run that little sprint. I've seen that so many different teams run, especially in 4th down. It was almost waiting for it to happen. North Cobb did a good job of seeing it on film possibly and making the play when they came out here when it counts.
I'll tell you who did that exact play. If you remember, last week the Texans in Chicago, Arian Foster caught a ball on virtually the same play on a diving catch.
Yes.
This time, though, North Cobb up to the test, and there's a good run. That's exactly what they need to do. The Warriors just slow and steady right now. 5 yards, aggressive, a worn-down defense, move the ball, and milk this clock.
Defensively, North Cobb, Cameron Albright, Latrell Gibbs, Keon Reeves, Emmanuel Slaughter, Romello Lewis. These guys right now are making big plays when they count, man. And that's what North Cobb needs. But on the flip side of things, that was a pretty good drive by Valdosta. But to not come away with any points is sort of hurting them.
Good second effort right there. They're going to blow that dead right at around the 9 yard line. So that sets up maybe Valdosta's, I don't want to overstate things, Ray, but maybe Valdosta's last chance here. Yeah, they need a defensive stand. Big 3rd down right now coming up.
Well, so far, last several drives defensively, they've been doing everything that they need to do.
They need to do it one more time. They can't give North Cobb a fresh set of downs right here. Queen in the shotgun. He's going to take it himself, rolling to the left, and that looks like it's just a bit short. We'll have to see on that.
You see the way they hit now, Justin? This is the way they were supposed to be hitting from the start go. Right when the first kickoff happened, they're flying around that ball, and they're hitting now. And
it's almost like now we have nothing to lose. We're down 3 touchdowns, just going smash mouth.
It's always the woulda, shoulda, couldas at the end of a game. You always find certain things that you can do better, but you always got to, you only have one shot in the playoffs. You lose, you go home.
Here's a big measurement right now. That is they get it by about 2 inches. And, boy, that should equal 2 minutes on the clock at least.
Yeah, that's huge. You called it, Justin. That it's not looking good right now for Valdosta. The time is running short, but they need it. Anything can happen. I've seen the craziest things happen by me being around this game so much, and you've seen it and witnessed it so much, Justin.
We've seen it this season. I've done a bunch of games this season, and teams down 2 scores in the fourth quarter have come back. This same North Cobb team up early, a couple of scores on a game against South Cobb, and Stefan Masha and the Eagles came roaring back in that one. This game's not over, but there's a huge mountain to climb right now for Valdosta.
Well, if you're North Cobb, too, you don't want to be in them situations. You want to just try to run as much as you can, even on 3rd and long. You don't want – if you're doing 3rd and long, you want to throw screen passes. You don't want to throw the ball down the field to give them any shot of intercepting any balls. You want to hold on to the ball as well if you are running the ball. Just eat the clock as much as you can.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to see Tyler Queen throw another ball, and if he does, I'd be surprised if he throws more than one. I mean, we have 7.5 minutes to go. They're up 3 scores. Salt this thing away, live another day, advance, play either Hughes or Rockdale County. And Queen's going to keep it himself here, reaches forward with that big paw, and that'll set up another big 3rd down, 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4. So Tyler Queen, he doesn't bust many runs, but I'll tell you, he's a big boy. He runs downhill at you. He picks up chunks of yards at a time, Ray, and eventually that's going to wear down any defense.
Ask Elijah Thomas on that play. He tried to bring him down right there, and Queen just actually laid his arm out just to get extra yards.
Another 3 yards with that arm alone. So a 3rd and about 3, a long 3 here. And the whistles blow the play dead. We're going to get a timeout. Defensively, that's big. Valdosta's got to burn a timeout here.
Not unless it's a personnel problem right there. That's not a good timeout call. No. You need every timeout for your offense needing to score, at this moment in time. I mean, of course, it's 3rd and short, but, dude, it's like 6 minutes to go in the game.
Timeouts are precious right now. I mean, you're down 3 scores. You need every stop of that clock you can get. Only 6:48 remaining right now. So North Cobb losing 7-0 midway through the first quarter. They responded immediately a minute later with the Javante Herod touchdown. Second quarter, they outscored Valdosta 21-0. A pick 6 for Cameron Albright. Then Queen to Borshade 62 yards out, and Queen a 6-yard touchdown run right off of an interception. In the third quarter, Valdosta came out on fire offensively, scored 2.5 minutes in, but once again, North Cobb responded a minute later. Queen again to Borshade, and they regained that 3-touchdown lead. That was with 8:22 to go in the third. We haven't seen any points since. So a 3rd and 3, 6.5 to go. Queen in the shotgun, one back set from the 19. The inside handoff, plenty of room. That's a first down to the 41-yard line. That could be the death knell right there, Ray.
That did it. That was a great jet. We call that it was a motion jet play that fooled everybody, maybe thinking that the guy in motion was going to get the ball. Just hand the ball off, and they did a good job of giving the ball to Javante Herod, man. Great game. Nail in the back to Valdosta.
I don't think we've seen that play. I mean, they just brought it out right there at the right time. So a fresh set of downs. 6:24 to go. They're going to bleed the clock. The little read option, the handoff, and good pursuit there. That's a loss of 3 on the play. For all the best coverage of Georgia football throughout the playoffs, go to WSBTV.com. So a long second down. I think if you're North Cobb once again, Ray, you just keep running this thing. There's no reason to throw this ball. Under 6 minutes to go now, up 3 scores. You just milk this clock. They burned one of their 3 timeouts. Valdosta's in a heap of trouble.
You called it right. You mentioned burned. I mean, we call a timeout and still didn't get anything from it. So like a crapshoot.
Fakes the handoff. That's all right. He gains maybe a yard, and it's a long 3rd down, 3rd and 14. Time is the ally right now of the Warriors. They just need to milk this thing. You run one more play right here. You punt the ball away. You're up 3 scores. You give them 4.5 minutes. I think you're okay with that.
Good call. I mean, I would do a screenplay. If anything, if the ball is going to release
Simple and safe.
out of his hands. Yeah, this is a simple screenplay, not nothing too aggressive.
And he's Ray Buchanan. I am Justin Hanover live here from Emory Sewell Stadium, North Cobb. Queen takes it himself, real simple, up the middle.
Smart call.
Maybe a yard gain, 5 minutes to go now.
Smart call.
Tyler Queen will stay on the field, do his thing, I think, with his legs, punting it away.
The clock is still ticking. You know, Valdosta just sort of got taken out of their game. You know, we talked about, you know, what they've been doing, being able to do, rushing the rock this year, but then, you know, putting the quarterback in this situation to where he throws 5 interceptions. This is just not his style of play. He's just not used to it.
No, and they ran it early. Malcolm Joseph, Nelson Herring, they had a couple of good drives. We have a timeout on the field, 4:27 to go here, 35-14 in favor of North Cobb. Remember, Ray, first drive, Valdosta, real nice drive, turned it over on downs. You know, they had some positive momentum there. Second drive, great drive. They scored the touchdown. Nelson Herring from 6 yards out, they get the 7-0 lead. The response, though, tied things up, and it just wasn't the same from the Wildcats. They just never got that running game going. They never were able to get the momentum going. It started going the wrong way, and all in all, North Cobb's been the better team.
Yeah, I mean, especially defensively. Everybody's been rallying around the ball. They've been intercepting the ball, getting their hands in front of the quarterback face, batting down balls. Not only that, on the defensive side, they've been rallying to the ball on run plays. So they totally just stuffed the run and made, you know, Valdosta be one-dimensional. I feel for Valdosta in this factor because, you know what, you put a lot of pressure in Shelby Wilkes' lap that he wasn't able to handle it today. 5 interceptions right now, you know, it's one of those things where it's just not his fault. But North Cobb played a good defense.
It almost appears like they rushed things too early. They tried to do too much too soon in half of a panic mode. Fair catch right at the 30-yard line. And then after they tried throwing it every down and it wasn't working, they sort of went back to the run, but it was almost backwards. They almost waited too long to get back to their real game, and they panicked a little bit early on.
You know, they had the same type of feeling this year versus, you know, Camden County and also Lowndes. You know, that's two of the best teams probably in that region over there.
Colquitt, yeah.
And they just didn't seem to, you know, sort of get out of that funk. Once they got into it, it was just too deep of a hole to get out of.
Yeah, North Cobb, though, very impressive. That defense, they're not blitzing. They're not even rushing many guys. You see the offsides there. They're rushing, and a lot of these play 3 guys. The coverage has been phenomenal. Wilkes has had time, but then it shut down on him after a few seconds. And North Cobb, we said it earlier, they've lost 12 straight postseason games. They haven't won a playoff game since 1979 against Wheeler. Their last victory in the state playoffs, 1959 against Dade. Wow. That's even before your old man time was around.
That's, well, you know, good for them.
So Wilkes, pressure comes on and throws it incomplete. Now he's almost a sitting duck. Now he's a target. You know what's going on here.
Yeah, well, you said it earlier. You just finished talking about, you know, them rushing 3 guys and then everybody else is dropping. He has to try to find one of those holes to be able to throw it to in that secondary. It's really hard. I don't want to jinx him. You know, I don't want to jinx Shelby in one way, shape, or form. But, you know, he's almost bound to throw another interception because he's forced into it.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know what's coming here. You have 3 guys with their hands down only. Here's Wilkes. He's got time. Pocket collapsing a little, moving to his right. And he's running for his life, literally. And Wilkes finally does go down at the 31. 4 minutes to go here. Still a 21-point game.
Now, you probably never witnessed a chicken with his head cut off, have you? Well, that's what you just been seeing right there by Shelby Wilkes. I mean, that was a 3-man pass rush. 3-man pass rush, and they still were able to get some, you know, and now he's so afraid to throw the interception because he's already thrown 5.
Yep.
To me, I'm like, what's 6? You might as well give your guys a shot to throw the ball down the field.
4 receivers. Wilkes, again, plenty of time. 3-man rush does get it off, but boy, that's a dangerous pass.
Yeah.
And incomplete.
Jaleel Kaku, man, he almost intercepted that one. Man, it was a pretty good break on the ball, but he seemed to mistime it. Neither one of it wasn't a completion or a bat down on that. But these defensive backs, man, they've been all over the place, man.
They have very, very impressive. I mean, you didn't know really what you were going to get into. North Cobb, they've impressed you.
I like it. I like what I see from this defense.
Still 4 receivers, 1 back set, 4th and 10. Oh boy, down at the 24-yard line. A turnover on downs. 3:24 to go. The crowd starting to get on their feet. The orange hankies.
Unfortunately, somebody has to lose, Justin. And on that particular play right there, man, it was lactic acid everywhere, not just in his effort, but in his body as well. Feel bad for him. But, you know, in this game, you win some, you lose some. There's always going to be a loser. There's going to be a winner. And, you know, North Cobb is that team that's going to be able to celebrate after this game is over.
And Valdosta, this is not their greatest team. Everybody knows that, but yet another successful season. Tyler Queen up the middle. He gets in the end zone. There's the cherry on top. The North Cobb Warriors are thinking about the next round.
The defense sort of quit on that one. You can sort of see that they laying their hats down right now. Helmets are sort of like taking off. I don't even think the defense had the chin straps on that particular play. It was just a total gift. You know, so if I was Tyler Queen right there, I would have ran too. He probably could have jogged a little slower and still made it to the end zone.
Very impressive. This sophomore, 2 more years in this program under his coach. Extra point. A.J. Bordoon, that is up and good. And it's now a 28-point lead. North Cobb with their biggest lead of the contest here with a tad over 3 minutes to go. For live scoring and highlights of all the games Play On Sports is covering, make sure you go to www.playonsports.com/football playoffs.
Well, it's a celebration. I tell you what, sounds like a club out here. These fans are into it. The orange towels are waving around, Justin. The fans are into it. They got their money's worth. I heard that some of these tickets were like $50 just to get into the game.
Really?
No, that was for the guys. That was for Valdosta actually driving, getting on the bus. They offered them to take a bus down over here and also food. But the only thing that wasn't taken care of was the game ticket. But it looks a little bit empty on the opposite side of the field there with those fans. You know, they play their hearts out throughout the whole year. You have seniors over there. They all have their goals of making it to the next level. The younger guys that's on that team, which I still think that
hey, both of their running backs are juniors. Malcolm Joseph
they'll be back.
And Nelson Herring will be back next year. Shelby Wilkes, obviously a senior. But this Valdosta program, in their centennial season, one of the premier programs in the nation.
Great.
Everybody knows about Valdosta football.
Yes.
There's nothing to be ashamed of here.
Nothing.
Remember, Ray, last year, North Cobb, they had to do the 6-hour bus trip to face Camden County. They lost 34-0.
Yeah.
That kick goes out of bounds. Some growing pains there.
So it feels good. It feels good to be on the opposite side of the fence.
Exactly, and I'm sure Valdosta next year, they'll learn from this experience. It's a great program with a great coach in Rance Gillespie. Tonight's not their night. It's as simple as that. Up 28 points, North Cobb, they've deserved this.
Yeah.
They're looking to go on. Hughes or Rockdale County would be the next opponent. And then if everything breaks as it should, if they win that game, then you're looking at Eddie Prince, Willie Police, and the high-flying Lassiter Trojans.
Yeah, Lassiter and Eddie Prince, I tell you what, they look really good. I've seen them even in 7-on-7 throughout the summer the last 2 years, and been a lot of great plays, and the quarterback play especially out of Prince has been outstanding.
And he's going to be a quarterback now at Missouri, no longer going to UCLA. Good play there by James King defensively as we have 3:10 to go. And Lassiter's a beast. I mean, if it gets down to Lassiter and this North Cobb team, obviously the Trojans would be the favorite. They've had a great year. They have a dynamic offense. Their defense is very good as well. But the way North Cobb looks tonight, they'll be a formidable foe against anybody. Just look at this defense. Absolutely nothing doing for Shelby Wilkes.
I still don't understand it. With that offensive line, you know, Deshaun Sims, Anthony Evans, Jamil Hunter, and Quincy Jones, and Ronnie Stoney, these guys are not protecting Shelby Wilkes at all. This is a three-man pass rush, and they still get into the quarterback. I mean, that can be sort of like frustrating. You know, if you're Shelby, not only you throw the interceptions, now you're getting put on your back on a three-man pass rush.
Again, though, I love what the North Cobb coverage is doing because Wilkes does have the initial 3 seconds. It's not like the rush is on him immediately. He's got his 2 or 3 seconds, but there's nobody open, and then that pocket's collapsing, as it will do eventually.
Gun shy when you throw as many interceptions as he has, but it's those times that where you get that Brett Favre mentality. You know what? You done thrown that many interceptions. Go ahead and give the other guys a shot. Throw the ball.
Whoa, we're having a penalty fest right now late in the game. 2.5 minutes to go.
Breakdowns.
Well, I think everybody sees the writing on the wall. Everybody's just trying to make a play and sort of almost get out of dodge.
Yeah. Well.
But another quality season for Valdosta. They didn't end it in the fashion they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they'll be back. Like you said, they got them 2 outstanding running backs that's coming back. That's just juniors to be seniors next year. You know, I think they need to find a way to get that front line going because, you know, you're going to lose 4 starters on that front line. The only guy that you actually got coming back who's a junior is Deshaun Sims.
Yeah. And a completed passer to Malcolm Joseph. He gets out of bounds, so still 2:20 to go in this 28-point game.
You mentioned, you know, Valdosta used to be a passing team. And even back in the days, a couple years ago, and you had Malcolm Mitchell, who's now a star.
And Jay Rome over at Georgia, sure.
Yeah, and now you still stay to who you are, you know, by running the football and being able to pass the ball. Valdosta's got a great coach in Rance Gillespie, and I think that they're going to eventually find a lot more talent coming up over the next couple of years with some of the younger guys stepping up.
I mean, just look at this program. 23 titles, 876 wins, and maybe the most impressive stat, Ray, of all, they've been around now for 100 years. They've had 5 losing seasons. 5.
That's it.
95 winning. I mean, that's just incredible.
You know how many high school games I won? You know, I'm from Chicago, and I played for a high school team called
And he is Ray
Proviso
Buchanan,
East.
former Atlanta Falcon.
Yeah, I played 12 years in National Football League, and I had a winning season, you know, a couple winning seasons with the University of Louisville on the Howard Snellenberger. But high school-wise, if you're talking about building character and perseverance, I won 2 games throughout my whole high school career and was still able to make it into the National Football League.
You won 2 high school football games?
2. I mean, some of the best athletes were ineligible. You know, they wasn't smart enough, I guess. But my offensive line was like a $140, $130, and I was a fast kid that just tried to, you know, do my best. Yeah, we won one game my freshman year, one game my senior year. That was
nothing in between.
We were horrible.
So 1:10 to go. The crowd's about to get up. 1:10 remaining in the season for Valdosta. 42-14. Queen's just going to run this thing. He's going to stay in bounds. Leach to the 26.
If I'm the coach for North Cobb, definitely Shane need to look at and say, I need to bring my son out of this game. You know, the game is clearly won. They need to start thinking about next week.
Right.
And, you know, just to sort of protect them, you know, anything can happen. We saw some crazy things. I don't want something like that to happen, but this is one of those times where you actually take your kid out.
Now we see the victory formation. This is going to be in the books. A resounding victory. And what most would view as an upset. The sideline is going bonkers.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Absolutely. We'll have one more snap here. Your final score is going to be 42-14. North Cobb over Valdosta. It started well early for the Wildcats. Nelson Herring with that 6-yard touchdown run with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. It was downhill after that. 28 unanswered as Tyler Queen led the way. Then in the third quarter, Valdosta would get within 14. Wilkes to Smith, but then Tyler Queen to Xavier Borshad for the second time in the game, answered a minute later. And then in the fourth, to make it cosmetic, Queen with that 23-yard run. And in the end, Ray, your final thoughts. North Cobb with a very impressive 42-14 victory.
Big cahoots, man, to Shane Queen, getting it done with North Cobb. Tyler Queen, like you said, controlled the ball, held onto the ball, didn't make any mistakes, didn't cause any turnovers. And defensively, they did the opposite. They went out there and got the turnovers, got the ball back into the end zone, and also got the ball back into the offensive hands to where they can be successful today. I thought Xavier Shea did a real good job on 2 touchdown runs today off of screen passes. Other than that, you know what? The defense, they're the ones who you should start looking at and putting the chip on their shoulder, because you know what? They flew around and got the interceptions, also got the touchdowns, and they made something out of it. And now they're having a party. I like it. Go North Cobb.
All right, so for Ray Buchanan, I'm Justin Hanover. Thanks to Jay Williams doing a great job on the cameras, Greg Smith running the show, engineering, producing, doing it all. Your final score, North Cobb 42, Valdosta 14. Make sure you join the conversation about high school sports. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at PlayOnSports, #GHSA Football. For the whole crew, congratulations to North Cobb as they move on. It's GHSA Playoff Football.